Hello, my dear friends. Interesting one today. There's a guy in America, and his name's Sean Graham, and he has set himself the interesting task of trying to review all of my solo and collaborations and the church, I believe, on YouTube.
You are watching The Steve Kilbey Show with Sean Graham.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Steve Kilbey Show. And as I said, I warned you, I was coming back with a vengeance. I've got a lot of making up to do, so we're going to be trying to do one every day or every other day for a short time. They might not get to you every day or so. I'm just going to try to power through some and hopefully not inundate your notifications, because I know you all have your YouTube notifications for this channel set to bing, hit me up when there's another episode of the Steve Kilbey Show. I know you do. Let's just get right into it. We're still doing 2024. We have done a couple compilations so far, and let's see what's going on. It is another beautiful day in Los Angeles, I would like to say. Not as warm as it had been 4 or 5 days ago, but you know, it's still nice. Let's give the old wheel of Kilbey a spin, and let's see where we will land. By the way, before I do that, I changed it up to a movie shirt today, Razorback, which, let's show you there. I would like to say that Razorback is a fantastic fucking Australian film. It's an Ozploitation film, and I guess I could do it. Right over here is a nice Ozploitation section I have. I know that I've been promising, I've said this a couple times, I am going to have a side YouTube series that's going to be just diving into a bunch of Australian films I've watched recently, about 4 or 5. A couple new to me and a couple revisits. I'll probably dive into that pretty soon too, as just to keep myself even busier, right? If you're interested, I'll let you know when it actually drops. But we're kind of going to just do until June, you know, until I end up seeing the church on their upcoming tour. Just going to kind of dive into a bunch of Australian things. So we'll see how it all goes. But Razorback is excellent. If you're into horror films, if you're into Ozploitation films, if you're into big fucking razorbacks killing people, trapping people, it's great. It's really fun. It looks excellent too for a horror movie of the 80s. I feel like the visual style is really good. It's from I don't know why I'm diving into this now. Anyway, we'll talk about it another time. But the guy who made the film, I think shot a bunch of music videos. I wonder if he shot any for the church. Actually, I don't know. I feel like Steve Kilbey's always talking about how much he hates those music videos for the church. So let's hope this guy didn't shoot them. He did do a bunch of stuff for Elton John, though, one of my favorite artists. Let's give the old wheel a little spin there. That's enough about Razorback, sorry. What's it going to land on? I'm trying to read it back there. The church. Look at that. We're on the church. 2024, the church. Well, we actually have quite a few things to choose from. What do I feel like talking about? You know what? Let's do something really different. Let's take a pause on what we're used to doing, and we're going to do something very different. Today, we will talk about the church. Let me move this out of the way, though. There's some papers and some CD options over here. We're going to talk about something very random. Let me put this paper behind it, though, so you can see it a little bit better. And what we're going to talk about is July 12th, 2024. What happened on July 12th, 2024, you say? The church played live in Los Angeles, California at the House of Blues in Anaheim. It was on a, what was this tour called? A Summer's Kiss tour. It was a co-headlining tour. I actually don't know if they were switching every night. I don't know if it was a co-headlining tour or not officially. The church was, I think, maybe the headlining act, or maybe it was a co-headlining tour, but with the Afghan Wigs, which is interesting because there's another 2024 release we haven't talked about yet, which will involve Greg Dooley of the Afghan Wigs. But today, we're going to talk about something really weird, which is this show that I saw in 2024, July 12th, 2024, down in Anaheim, California. Anaheim, California, home to Disneyland. That's right, everybody. get excited about fucking Disneyland. If you like your crowds packed, if you like your lines long, if you like your food really fucking expensive and not very good, Disneyland's the place for you. It is sort of charming, at least when I was a kid. I think I'll always have fond memories of it because I went as a kid. My dad is a big fan of that place. So I always kind of will love it for the fond childhood memories I have there. But anyway, that's enough about Anaheim and Disneyland. Let's talk about this church set. So this is the current iteration of the band that was touring. Like I said, it was a co-headlining gig with the Afghan Wigs, whose set I didn't print up. I probably should have. I'm actually kind of still regretting there was a poster, an Afghan Wigs poster that was like it was like the Cincinnati Reds Mr. Red logo guy, I think, on the poster. If I remember, but maybe with devil horns. It was a cool poster. I probably should have picked that up, although I don't really have anywhere to hang it. At any rate, it was a great co-headlining or headlining by the church and Afghan Wigs opening show. So Afghan Wig show was great. They're really good. I had not seen them before, so it was really good to see them finally. And the church set was really great. Let me just tell you what they played. They played Myrrh. They played Metropolis, The Hypnagogue, C'est La Vie, No Other You, which is the best song that's ever been written, at least in the last 20 years. It's so fucking good. I've probably listened to it 30 times this year. So I'm not even joking. I have a problem. There is No Other You, Steve Kilbey. That's the fifth song they played. Then they played an interlude, Flickering Lights, Reptile, Realm of Minor Angels, Grind, Under the Milky Way, Second Bridge, and then they did a little encore with You Took. And I will say, I think all church fans love You Took. I think the church liked playing You Took because they just fucking shred it, dude. And it felt like I was in the desert when they were playing You Took, and I was having a mirage, but I was having an, audible? I was having it, the mirage was a little bit vision, but definitely a hearing sort of mirage, because it was psychedelic as hell, and they just jammed and kept bringing it, and the crescendos and then the build-ups. It was so good. I felt like the song went on for 15 minutes. I think there is not a video of this particular show's You Took, but definitely from this tour. I feel like I've seen a couple on YouTube where people were like talking about how good that song in particular was during this tour, and it really ripped, man. The whole show was excellent. So, I mean, you think about the tracks and you're like, well, it's only 13 songs, but you don't need more, right? There was a Jack White quote from a couple years ago, I think, where he was kind of responding to people bitching about how, there was some show that they'd gone to recently of his where he only played 10 songs or something like that. And, he's like, it's not about the overall time, it's about the quality of the show. And I'm sure that this show was a normal amount of minutes for a concert, this church set at House of Blues Anaheim in July of 2024. But I would argue the same thing. Like, even if they had only played 5 songs, would have been worth it, right? Because it's just so good. They bring it every time. Myrrh, excellent. Metropolis, great. The Hypnagogue is so good, and we're going to get into that pretty soon. C'est La Vie, which is great. No Other You, all songs right from that time. An interlude, Flickering Lights. Reptile is so good. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen them play Antenna. Antenna is like one of my favorite songs of theirs. I don't think I have. I love that song, Antenna. And I love the Hypnagogue, and I love, oh my God, Eros Zeta and the Perfume Guitars, the sort of companion piece to Hypnagogue. I love that record too. There's some songs on that I would love to hear. The Weather, I fucking love it. It's so good. Now I'm just talking about songs they didn't play. I don't know why. Anyway, the songs they did play, Grind is an all-time favorite of mine. Really love that song. It's totally fantastic in a concert setting. Under the Milky Way is funny to me because it's obviously a great song. There's no doubt about that. But I feel this way about some of the bands that I love, where it's like I don't really need to hear that single ever again. You know what I mean? It's great. I get it. People going on the show probably do want to hear it. I'm on the other end where I'm like, you could take that off and sub in something else, some random ass song from your discography, which we know is plenty, and I would be just as happy. It's a great song. Obviously, it's a great song for the crowd, right? Crowd's always getting into that song. anyway, Second Bridge is fucking excellent. I love it. This was a really good show. I guess I just wanted to kind of do a concert review today, and I probably did it pretty poorly because I'm talking all over the place. But I've only seen The Church, I think 4 or 5 times. So, I mean, only, I don't know. A lot of people would say you don't need to see people again. My wife being one of those people. But, you know, I love live music. I think it's a really great way to see, you know, it's really a great way to feel the music, in my opinion. I have many friends who hate live shows. They think they're annoyed when they go to a show and the song differs at all from what they heard on the record or the radio or whatever. I'm fine with that changing up. You know what I mean? Like, it's great to hear it as it was. It's great to hear it, you know, revamped. I just love live shows. The energy is just something you can't really match with a lot of other things, a lot of other events. So I love it. I'm looking forward to the tour this summer. Get your tickets. I'm going to a couple shows already. I'm going to try to go to a couple more. We'll see how it works out. I think I told you my plan was to try to go to 5 shows. Definitely going to LA and the south of LA show. Potential for San Francisco. We'll see. I'm going to try my best to go to the 2 shows in Phoenix. You know, it's an excuse to see my folks and to hang out there and go to a great museum and go to that venue because I've never actually seen a show at that museum in Phoenix. Anyway, they're great live. I kind of started seeing them later in life, so later in my life and later in their life. So I don't really have anything to compare it to, but I would say this current band they're bringing it. They jam. They rock. Steve sounds so good. It's just really worth seeing. So if you've never seen him, I highly recommend it. I'm assuming you all have if you're watching this channel. Yeah, The Church, coming to a city near you in the United States of America. All right, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.
Hello, my dear friends. Interesting one today. There's a guy in America, and his name's Sean Graham. And he has set himself the interesting task of trying to review all of my solo and collaborations and the church, I believe, on YouTube.
You are watching The Steve Kilbey Show with Sean Graham.